So, welcome everyone to the course on artificial intelligence meets HR. We are transforming the future of work, harnessing the artificial intelligence to redefine talent, culture, and decision making in modern workspace. Now, you remember, I'm not sure, you might be too young at that time when the internet came. And just to give you an example, that when we started using internet way back in 98 in Saudi Arabia, it was so slow that you could hardly open a couple of pages on the internet. You cannot browse most of the pages. Security was a concern. There were lots of issues. And if you wanted to send an email out in Jamiat al Malik Fahd, in King Fahd University, we used to use Telnet at that time, which was a black console through which you'll be drafting the emails, sending emails. So, editing emails, fixing the issues in that, and stuff like that was an issue. Further, it was an issue to know that if you received an email or not, unless and until if you'll go there, open it, and check it, you won't be notified about it that you received an email. So things were difficult. Internet was coming in. We were using dial up internet connections, using the modems and stuff. But then all of a sudden things changed with the smartphones, and then we had stronger internet connections, and then nowadays we have artificial intelligence. Now, there is a debate in the academic community that whether you should allow these students to use artificial intelligence or not. In the United States, we are using artificial intelligence, and we are empowering students, rather forcing them to complete the assignments using artificial intelligence. And that's what we are covering in today's session over here, that we want to unleash the potential of artificial intelligence in our everyday life. It's good. Some people would not like it. Someone would really appreciate the way it's going, but avoiding it is not an option at the moment, because sooner or later you need to get used to it. And if you're not using it, you are falling behind as compared to the other people who are using it. Now, I remember that when we were studying in the university, we had a project where we had to automate the system in one of the schools in Saudi Arabia. And we were implementing IT systems, workflow systems, and everything. So there was a big resistance from the school staff. They were thinking that maybe they'll lose the job since they don't know how to use that technology. But then it was implemented and everyone started using it. And we had to make sure that people are comfortable using those technologies. Now, same thing is there in artificial intelligence now. People have concerns about ethics. People have concerns about leakage of information. People have concerns about privacy. People have concerns about if my information is secure or not. All those concerns are valid. But does it mean that we should not rely on these technologies? No. We'll have to work on these technologies to make sure that how can we best incorporate those things in our everyday tasks. Now, I'll be giving an example of success factors on SAP. You might have heard of the ERP systems. Some of you might be using in your organization. The HR module from SAP, which is used for hiring and other things. There are some advantages and disadvantages of it, and that's what we'll see here, that what can we do in order to harness those things. So our outline is we'll first of all try to understand that what is a generative AI, and then how it helps in recruitment and selection, and then AI powered HR workflows and chatbots, how can we use it in our operations. Then we'll be looking at the learning and development, data analysis, meeting productivity, etc., and choosing the right AI enabled software for your organization, and what are the ethics, risks, and your personalized AI roadmap. And further, it would be an open session for question and answers that you might have. Now, which AR functions do you want to AI to improve the most in your organization. So you must think of the options or the problems that you have in your organization that you want to fix using artificial intelligence. Now, those options could be, for example, recruitment, it could be onboarding, it could be learning and development, it could be performance, it could be employee support, because these are the most common things that you have in your HR, which HR is mostly concerned about. Now, there is a lot of inflow of information. There are lots of documentation. There are lots of policies. There are lots of rules and regulations that you need to implement to make sure that people are aware of it and they're satisfied with HR. Now, you'll relate to me if you're working in HR that you'll sometimes feel like it's a thankless job, since if you're dealing with services, you can't satisfy everyone. It's always an issue to make sure that each and everyone in your organization is satisfied with the services. There are lots of reasons for that. HR people are busy. They are always in meetings. They are working on new policies. They are trying to improve the policies. They are trying to get lots of new benefits from the companies out there. They are trying to accommodate the employees, and that's for the existing employees. But if you think of hiring new people, giving them facilities, training them, telling them what are you offering in your organization, telling them what do we have, how can we improve the services, how can we do lots of things, it takes a lot of time to tell them that what you're doing, how you're doing, and how it should be done. So we look at four major things in this one that you need to adapt in order to make sure that your HR is in place with the overall needs and requirements of it, and how can you implement it. Strategy is there, implementation is there. You should have ethics and a roadmap to craft the AI in your human resources. Gain a strategic understanding of generative AI in HR. We'll be talking about that what is a generative AI and what's a normal AI and the learning management systems or the LLMs that we have, with the help of which we are understanding the things. We'll be adopting a black box approach where we won't go deep into the algorithms and designing of those AI systems, because that's not what you're concerned about. That's for us who are building these systems to make sure that you are actually getting the benefit of those systems. Just like you want to use a smartphone, you don't care that what is running a smartphone, what is the chipset, what are the algorithms, what the logic behind it. So those things should be separate. We are thinking of utilizing these technologies that we have. Now learn to implement artificial intelligence tools in daily workflows. So there would be lots of things in your daily tasks that we'll be looking at. That what are the things that you're doing on daily basis on your human resource division, which could be automated using artificial intelligence, and it would improve the quality as well as the productivity of your operations. Then identify and address the ethical, legal, and bias risks, etc., that you might have. So, though artificial intelligence is good, but I'm sure you wouldn't be comfortable sharing the salaries and things related to people and their details, their personal details, their email addresses, their ID numbers, salaries, benefits, and all those things with these artificial intelligence models. So, how can we utilize it? We'll be looking at it. Then draft a personalized artificial intelligence adoption roadmap for your role or team. Now, guess what? Your AI model would help you in drafting those things according to the roadmap that you have, and how can you best utilize those technologies for that. So, if you're thinking of generative AI refers to the artificial intelligence systems that can create new content, such as text, images, code based on the data everyone is trained on. Tools like ChatGPT and Gemini, etc., are the examples to build on large language models that understand and generate human like responses. So, why it matters to HR? It automates and enhances the recruitment, onboarding, and engagement, and learning and development, etc. It improves the decision making with the real time insights, and it boosts the efficiency and personalization across HR workflows. So, why do we need our own generative AIs instead of using ChatGPT or Gemini? We don't want to be in a situation where there will be hallucinations and things would be coming just from right and left. Do you think that ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, and stuff like that, these things are built for HR? They are not. They are general large language models which collected the information from right and left, and it is trying to give you the information that you need to run your operations. Now, if you are in finance, if you are in HR, if you are in management, if you are in teaching, hospitality, banking, different sectors, we cannot think of ChatGPT or Gemini or Copilot to be an expert in your field. So we'll have to find the options where those things are good for you and your organization, and they are giving you the customized responses which should be custom tailored for your specific division. So if we want to learn anything like that, we use generative AI where we'll train the models based on the information which is required for my division and the kind of work that I'm interested in. Now, just for the sake of information, let me share this screen. This is Olama that we use in the generative AI models, etc. Now, how it works is that if you want to set up your own large language model and you want to train it yourself and you have a technical background, you can download Olama from here, and it has different models up here. If you click on models, you can see that there are different models and you can search that what kind of model you're interested in. As you can see, the DeepSeek is there. So you would install it on your system, you would train it according to the data that you have provided, and it has nothing to do with the internet at all. So whatever you're sharing on it, it would remain on your system, and it would help you in guiding the path or guiding you towards the policies that you're interested in. So since it's offline, you'll be installing the things yourself. You'll be setting up a model yourself. You don't need to worry about that my information would be leaked out. Just like that, we'll be sharing a couple of other things, which are the paid services, subscriptions, and stuff, where you could utilize those services and they are giving you a guarantee that your data will not be used to train the system for new stuff. And that's what we need. But suppose you want to utilize those systems, but you don't want your information to be out there. If I want to use those systems and I don't want my information to go out, what could be the possible solutions for that? So what I have checked on the systems is that, for example, have you ever used Perplexity? It's a good tool for research and stuff. It's using the DeepSeek model, as you can see up here, and you can even search on internet. So if you are doing a research on something, you can click on internet, you can check on academics, and you can click on research thing and search for stuff. So now what it's doing is that it's searching for the internet. It's looking in large language models. It's gathering the information from different sources and giving you an outline. So, if, for example, you want to improve the productivity of your employees, you can search on models like these, where it would search on different large language models and then it would provide you an output. Now, that's one way. The second way, if you want to use these free models in order to know the information that how can you improve the productivity of your employees, does it stop you if you have a prompt on ChatGPT, for example, where you would write that I'm an HR expert and I want to improve the performance of my employees. My business is related to banking sector. So give me suggestions based on the studied behaviors of employees that what is actually affecting their performance. Now you can get a response on that on ChatGPT. You can get a response on Gemini. You can get a response on DeepSeek. You can get a response on Copilot, for example. Now you have four different responses from four different large language models. Are their responses same? No. They'll give you different suggestions for different things. So once that's done, you can go to your favorite ChatGPT and you'll type in all those four responses over here, or you can even create folders where you'll add the files as the text files, and it would read those files and ask them that based on these four responses, give me a solid response from these four responses which would reflect the best options which are mentioned in these four responses with the reference. So it would read all four responses, it would consolidate the answers, and it would give you a response based on the information that you have provided. Now I'm saying that ask it that if you are giving a response, give me references to those responses as well. Now that's really important. The main reason why we ask it to give us a reference, because we want to make sure to get the best idea. Good, Abdullah. The second thing is we want to make sure that it's not coming up with answers on its own out of the four responses that we have provided. So there is no hallucination at all, whatever is there. So anyway, we understood that how can we use these different models like ChatGPT, Gemini, and Copilot in order to consolidate the responses from all of them and then try to get the main answer out of it. Now, in generative AI, we are using a black box concept. As I told you, you might not fully understand how the model works, but it is trained right for the output and for the accurate, fast, and valuable responses, which would focus the shift from how it works to how it performs. Now, as you can see that in my prompt, I'm just sharing for you guys that whenever you're using any of these free AI models, the most important thing is that you should train the model first and prepare it for what kind of question you are actually asking to the question. Now, the model should know you first, that who are you and what are you actually trying to get out of it. Now, if I want to ask a question, I would first say that I'm an HR manager or your designation and stuff, and I'm trying to do this thing. So now the model would say that, yes, I'm ready, so that the model is prepared for what kind of response you'll be asking. And then you'll ask that I'm an HR manager, suggest the metrics to track employees' engagement. And try it on your systems and see that what kind of response it gives you. Now, these kind of prompts that you can use on these models are safe because you're not sharing any confidential information with these things. You can share the information. I'll show you later that how can we deal with that. But if you want to get some generalized responses from that, these are the kind of prompts that you can have. Now, It really helps us in recruitment and selection using the generative AI. Now, generative AI is transforming the recruitment by automating the time consuming tasks by enhancing the decision making from writing tailored job descriptions, creating the engagement LinkedIn post, screening the resumes, and then generalizing or generating the personalized interview questions. Generative AI would simplify the process of hiring. Tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, interviews by AI, or HR professionals can improve the efficiency by reducing the bias and focusing on the best fit, who's the right candidate for that specific job position. Now, there are lots of things in this one which I want to touch on. First of all, when I started applying for jobs long time ago, the problem was that people were not reaching out to interview you and stuff. So then, since we are in cybersecurity, I thought to reverse engineer the things. So I started looking for the weaknesses and success factors, which is a SAP product, that how can you find the weaknesses in a system to trick it in a way that it would pick your resumes. Now, the people who are in hiring process, they know that if they announce a job, first of all, announcing a job itself on a job platform requires a lot of time. What kind of keywords should be there? What's the job description? What are the skill set required? What is the experience which is required in that field? So all those things takes a lot of time. Thanks to these AI models, now they draft all those things for us. But what's the best way to get a job description from any of those AI models? Is it just like you would say that I'm opening a position for the recruitment specialist in HR, so write a job description for that? So either we can ask for examples from the AI models, but that's not very professional, I would say. It's my job, it's my company. I want to hire people based on certain expertise, and those set of expertise could be unique for my organization. So AI models are good. You can take help from ChatGPT, Gemini, or anyone, but it would be a good idea that I'll draft something myself first. Now, my English is not good, or maybe I want to write in Arabic, or maybe I'm more comfortable expressing myself in my own language. Doesn't matter. Write it in your language on a piece of paper, on a Word document, on a notepad, wherever you like. But make sure that first you're writing something before you'll give it to ChatGPT, Gemini, or anyone. Just say that here is my job description for a position of a recruitment specialist, and these are the kind of skills that I'm more interested in. So using my job description, write a professional looking job description for this position. Now, in this way, you have incorporated your flavor, what you're looking, and then further polished it with the actual or the professional way of posting something online. So that's one thing as far as the job description is concerned. Second thing is training the resumes. Now, if you'll announce a job position on your website saying that we are looking for recruitment specialists, how many resumes are you, for example, anticipating that you'll receive? Maybe it would be in hundreds, maybe it would be in thousands. So lots of people would be applying for those jobs. So do you really have time to sit and go through all the resumes? No, practically we don't have that time. So what do we do is that we use those AI based systems, or we use ERP systems just like SuccessFactors. We'll upload the job description, we'll upload the position, and we'll write the keywords, the key competencies, or the key expertise which we are looking for in a potential candidate for that position. So now once that's done, it would go through the resumes and it would find the descriptions or the resumes with that sort of descriptions, and it would shortlist those resumes only with those keywords. So now, for example, if you receive 500 resumes, it would pick only 10 resumes which would be matching your criteria, and it would show you so that you can manually go through the resumes and can select a candidate out of that. It doesn't stop over there. If you have a job description and you're looking for a certain set of expertise, it can even suggest you interview questions. That with the help of that, it is actually giving you customized questions based on every applicant, that you can ask these questions to this applicant, you can ask these questions to this applicant, and stuff like that. In that also, you can say that I'm concerned about candidates who have a consistent timeline where they continued working with an organization for at least 2 years. I don't want to hire a candidate which keeps on switching jobs. So I need a candidate who should be a good team player. I need a personnel who have these set of expertise. So you'll give that criteria, and based on that, out of the shortlisted resumes, it would pick and tell you that these are the questions that you should ask to these candidates which are applying for a job position. Now, I don't know if you have seen this website or not. It's called Interviews by AI. Let me open this one. Now, Interviews by AI. Guess what? These days, computers are taking our interviews. So instead of humans, we have products like these where you can schedule an interview, you can feed in the details, it would ask questions, an AI bot would ask questions, and if a person is responding to the answers, it would record it, it would transcribe it in a text, and then it would match it according to the criteria which is there. Now, there is a high number of false negatives in this one, because if someone is also responding based on the AI based answers, it would be difficult to judge. But organizations are using these kind of products where an AI model would be taking your interview, you'll give your responses, and then it would transcribe it, and it would shortlist the candidates based on the questions that you might have in the system. So if you are applying for a job, you can always use these kind of products to check that how good are you, or if the systems are accepting the kind of answers that you are giving in order to go through and to be shortlisted on those. So it's all by generative AI, where they have trained the systems based on the set of answers or questions that you might face for a recruitment specialist position, and it can improve the efficiency, can reduce the bias, and can focus on the findings which are best fit for the candidate. Now, a prompt, for example, if you want to see over here, could be that write a job post for a senior data analyst with 5 years of experience in Python and SQL, and you would give a set of expertise that I'm looking for these kind of things, if you can provide me that, or write an AI prompt, a job description which is customized for the interview questions and stuff. Now, if you are going through a recruitment process of a selection using a generative AI, it can help you in job descriptions, create the tailored roles with prompts and inputs, LinkedIn posts, excellent looking with the hashtags and everything, resume screening, which would auto-analyze the resume using the large learning models and spreadsheet scoring, etc. And then it can even give you the interview questions which are required for that. Now, most of the people, how they are cracking the job interviews are that these models like ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, or DeepSeek, they're really good in picking the right keywords from the job descriptions. As I told you that sometimes we reverse engineer the things in order to crack the systems to have high probability of being picked by these AI models. So what I would do as a candidate applying for a job position in a university for teaching purposes, what I would do is that I'll have the job description which is posted on the website, and I'll feed it to my AI model, and I would ask it that I'm applying for a faculty position in cybersecurity. Pick the keywords from this job description. So it would pick the keywords from the job description. I'll use the same thing on different AI models. So once I'll have all the keywords from the job description, now I'll upload my resume to ChatGPT and would say that include these keywords naturally in my resume. So now what it did is that the keywords which were there in the job description, it would naturally incorporate all of them in your newly drafted resume. Now, your task is simple now, just apply for that job. So once your AI model, which is adapted by your organization, is going through the resumes, there is a high probability that it would be picked by the AI model, since it would have all those keywords in the resume which you're looking for that specific job position. So that's how it's helping you in that. Now we have AI powered HR workflows and chatbots. AI chatbots are revolutionizing the HR by providing the instant accurate responses to the employees' questions by automating the internal knowledge using the LLMs, and search the tools like RAG. Now that's retrieval augmented generation. I'll talk about it in a minute, but HR teams can deliver consistent policy compliant answers, reducing the workload. Now let's go back to the traditional way of doing things. You are in the onboarding process. You may be asked the employees that, okay, now you're part of our organization. This is our HR website. You'll find all the information related to the payroll and your benefits there. Is it a exciting way of sharing things? I don't think so. Would I like to go through the website and read all the policies over there? No, I'm too lazy in that. I don't want to read all that information. So isn't it easy for me to provide some information which is custom tailored according to the information that I'm looking for? That makes more sense. Now, the other way was that companies started posting videos, interactive videos on the website, where a character was explaining about the policies, but still sitting and listening that video of 7 or 10 minutes, I don't have time for that. So then they came up with the retrieval augmented generation, which we call as RAG. And you being HR professionals should be aware of that. Now what it does is that it avoids the hallucination where it would just get the information from anywhere. Instead, what we would do is that we would upload all documents related to HR to the model, which is our large language model, and it would go through the policies that we have in our documentation. So once that's done, it would have a chatbot. You might have seen chatbots, AI-based chatbots, which are actually answering your questions. Now, what's the knowledge source of those chatbots? Is RAG model, which is going through your set of documentation, which you being the HR professionals have uploaded in the system, and it's reading through those documentations and is providing you customized results. Now, since I'm a new employee who joined your organization last week, I am aware of basic things, but if I want to know the holidays, if my holidays would be paid or not, if I would have paid medical excuses and stuff like that. Now, these are the questions that you need to ask to the HR people. Now, HR people are busy in their things. You can answer the questions, and you do most of the times, but still, if I need an immediate response, maybe by midnight or something, what's the solution? The solution is a chatbot. Since it's going through the documentation that you have uploaded, it's reading the documentation from there, and it is giving you responses based on the knowledge base that you have uploaded, or rather fed it to the system. So you are getting the responses and it's telling you that I am reading the information from these set of documents. So the information is perfect, it's according to the information that you have asked for, and it is reading from there. Now, how does it work? You have services like Ask Your PDF. You can even get it in ChatGPT on the additional modules that you have, different applications, that you can upload a PDF document, and then there would be a chat box opened there where you can ask questions to the AI model that, hey, I'm interested in this information if it's located in this document. And it would tell you that on page number 6, paragraph number here, and it would highlight that this information is there. So you're not actually reading the documents. It's the AI model which is going through those documentations and reading it. The same thing is as the knowledge-based questions. Ask questions across all your files. As you can see that you are asking questions just like ChatGPT, and it's reading through your documents to give you information related to the documentation that you have. You might have long documents of hundreds of pages. Now, we don't have time to read all that information. I need specific information over there. Other tool is, again, chat with any PDF. Upload a document, it would read all that information and it would give you. Then you have the Cradle, which is a custom AI agent with your data and tools, etc., with the expertise, with the help of which it would give you all that information and would help you in understanding all those tools that we have shown up here. Now, before that, I told you about Perplexity. You can use that as well. You have Gemini, and we even discussed about Olama. So we'll be talking about rest of the other tools that we have. We even talked about interviews by AI, which helps you in interviewing and understanding those things with the help of these chatbots and stuff. Now let's see RAG workflow. As I told you that you are uploading set of documents, it is reading all those things, less headache on you. The documentation is in Arabic, it's in French, it's in English, it's in German, doesn't matter. These generative AI models are capable to translate those things and feed the data based on the information that you have. Now, I have seen lots of cases that most of the emails that we are receiving from students are written by AI. So we get an excellent question and we are getting an excellent response using those models. Now, RAG works on document storage where HR policies and FAQs would be stored in a searchable database. The retrieval mechanism would be to find the relevant information based on the user queries. Just I told you that you'll be using chatbots for that. And then you'll be using generative model LLM that would convert the data into natural human-like response, and it would tell you just like you're talking to a human. Now, they are going one step ahead, that instead of showing you an answer in a text format, you can interactively talk to the model. So you are asking question in your language and it would respond you based on the information which is there in these documents in your language. Just like last week, I received a call and it was an AI bot which is calling me. They were reading a script and I was giving an answer, and based on that, it was responding from the knowledge base that it has. That's exactly what RAG is doing on your HR systems. So responsive delivery could be send accurate document-backed answers to the users. So now in this RAG model, there are no hallucinations. It is reading from your set of documentation from your organization. If you want to update any policies, you'll update the documents and ask the model to update its knowledge. So it would go through the document again and would only answer based on that information. You can even have versioning on it. So it would tell you with the response that according to the version this in your handbook on page number this, it says that this is the policy. So Now there are no confusions whatsoever if you are using those systems for your HR process. Now imagine the time it would save and the number of emails and calls people would make in order to in order to get those basic answers. Now let's look at the learning and development, like how generative AI can help us in automating the processes. It's transforming the learning and development by creating personalized, adaptive, and dynamic learning experience. It identifies the skill gaps, suggests the tailored learning paths, and deliver just-in-time training content to help employees grow in real time. So it's keeping an eye on all of them. So for example, in applications in learning and development, dynamic learning path could be AI designed personalized roadmaps based on the job roles, goals, and existing skills. Then skill gap analysis would identify the competencies which are required for a specific position. For example, a person was there in recruitment, but now he's a manager of the recruitment division. Now they need certain set of expertise which were not there as a specialist. So the system would recommend certain trainings for the person who just moved into a new position. So just-in-time training would recommend the videos, articles, courses, etc. tailored for the employee development stage. Further, we'll keep on testing the knowledge of employees based on gamification. That's a new process of teaching employees new skills using games. So we'll ask people to get involved in games, kind of activities in offices, and in those games you'll be learning new stuff. So it would keep track of your scores, how well you performed in one game and not in the others, and then it would custom tailor the training for you specifically because it seems like you're lacking in certain skills which were required for those things. And then you'll take those trainings. There are lots of tools like Coursera is using ChatGPT for that, Crystal knows, and we have Acquio. Now let's see those things over here. Like Crystal is there, start everything meeting with confidence, etc. Like in a technology dominated human relationship matters, so it is looking for all those things. There are lots of companies which are using it for that purposes. You can go for their solutions, marketing, sales, management, and HR professionals. And then it would reduce the employee turnover by placing candidates in the right roles, identify the personality fit, and then the interviews and all those things. So you can go through that. There is a lot of work that has been done using AI to convert your conventional HR to AI-based HR, where you'll get all those things. Now that's one thing. The other thing is that you can use AI analytics or the meetings, just like this one that we are doing, that it can transcribe the entire meeting in words, or you can read it later so that it is converted in a proper way. That's the last one, where you can even have different embedded solutions, clean, product and forecasting, performance, integration and stuff. It's HIPAA compliant, so your information remains on there, and then you can get lots of other information on this one as well. Further, if we look at data analysis and meeting productivity, AI streamlines the data analysis by workplace productivity, automating the report, summaries, generating visuals, handling repetitive tasks like meeting notes, email drafts, and presentations, saving time, etc. Now you remember that long time ago in the meetings there used to be a secretary who will have the meeting notes and would circulate it to everyone who might have attended the meeting. But now, since most of the meetings are taking place on most of these platforms like Zoom, etc., it would have the meeting notes and it would be sent to everyone. It can even summarize whatever we talked about, and it would just send the people either in the form of notes or maybe the presentations. So if you want to convert the things into presentations, there you go, presentations.ai. Either you can convert your presentation in a readable format or have some notes or some basic presentation, and it would convert it based on the information that you need, or use the meeting agents which are there, which are associated with your chat GPT and stuff, or your Zoom, and it would convert the things according to that. Copy.ai is another platform with the help of which you can convert these things in a proper meeting format. We were talking about data analysis and meeting productivity, like AI can streamline all those things, create visually pie charts and stuff like that. So a prompt could be summarize the KPIs trends for this report. For example, if you have Q1 report, you can get the results for that, but not on publicly available AI models. You don't want to share your Q1 reports. Sometimes what we do is that if we really need to use these AI models which are publicly accessible, we would randomize the data. We'll take out all the details which are specific to individual users and stuff, but we will use it with some random data, no names, no social security numbers, no email addresses or personal details, but it would summarize the data for you so that you can better understand it. Now, as I told you that you are an HR personnel, you have zero knowledge about selecting the best HR software. So this thing would help you in choosing the best HR software which is backed by AI for your organization. So I have divided it into 5 steps. The first one is identify the business needs and user roles, what you're trying to do with that. Define who will use the software and what are the problems you're trying to solve with that software. The second thing is evaluate the AI capabilities, like what's the model that they are using, either they're using DeepSeek or they're using anything else. Check the features like predictive analysis, automation, or personalization, etc. That would give you an edge on getting better results from the data that you have posted up there. Then the ethics and compliance. If you're working in European Union or maybe in different areas, they have different compliance requirements. You'll have to make sure that if it's satisfying the requirements or not. Ensure that the platform supports the responsible AI with the legal transparency and alignment. Then check the scalability and integration, that later can you easily expand it or not, and what could be the possibilities for that. So confirm the compatibility with your existing systems, like if you're using Power BI or Tableau or Workday, etc., if it very well integrates with that, because if there is an integration, you'll have to put in less effort in order to automate the processes which were there. And finally, you'll choose the best fit based on the AI software tool that aligns well with your strategy and operations, etc. Now we'll talk about ethics that we have in our systems, like what are the risks using the AI and HR efforts to the challenges ensuring the fairness, transparency, and accountability while using the AR system in decision making. It involves preventing algorithms like bias, protecting the employee's data, privacy, ensuring the AI systems aligns with the legal standards, etc. Now, in certain countries, you cannot have student details online. You cannot have things related to the personal details like social security numbers and stuff like that to be available online. Certain countries have requirements that if you're using a cloud-based system, that cloud should have a clear presence in your country. So if it's a server somewhere in the Western region or maybe in the Western world, those countries' policies does not permit you to have the data on that. So those are the considerations that you'll have to have. Further, what kind of information you're sharing, if there is a guarantee that your information will not be leaked out and stuff. So you'll have to ensure all those things. Further, You'll have to ensure the fairness in hiring, promotions, and evaluations, etc., with the audits, that your AI models would be checked on regular basis just to make sure that the promotions and everything is according to the policies and requirements. And there should be a transparency in explainable AI HR users to understand how decisions are made. So the complete documentation would be there for people to understand. And then GDPR and the privacy issues should be there, with the help of which you can make sure that you are in compliance with that. Now, if you want to check in any of the AI models, you can use the prompt like which three HR areas will you automate to improve first with your AI. So it would tell you that these are the processes which can be easily changed. Now, I think that's the last slide for the AI feedback loop, like what should be there. That is a continuous improvement cycle where AI system would capture the data, it would learn from the data, it would adapt over time to improve the performance, and in HR, which would help you in real-time insights in interaction and overcoming, and define the recommendation, reduce errors, and deliver more personalized information. So first thing starts from capturing, like collecting the data of the employee interaction, system usage, outcomes like chatbot queries, learning behavior, hiring decisions, etc. So it would capture the kind of questions people are constantly asking, and if you have less information available on your RAG systems, you'll update that just to make sure that your RAG systems now gives you the accurate results using those chatbots. So it takes time. With the passage of time, it would understand the systems, it would update the information, it would redefine the systems so that within a year, it would be solid enough to give you right answers without having any confusions in it. Now, it would learn, it would analyze the feedback and the questions asked by the users, and it would adjust based on the information which is provided. And if you would like to allow the real world data to be accessed, it would read it and then would automate the process. Then in the final stage, it would improve, update the algorithm, contents, workflows, enhance the accuracy and performance, and give more relevant responses for better recommendations and fairness decisions, etc. So now we have some time for questions and answers if you have. So that was our session on AI meets HR, that how can we improve our HR processes using artificial intelligence.